to wake up, wake up, wake up together. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
I'm Victoria.
Yeah, and we wanted to start with a song and just basking in this thing called life that we're all doing right now, that we're all doing such an awesome job at. Just to be here now, living this life, like, you're doing amazing. We're all doing amazing.
We're doing incredible. There's so much shifting and so much changing, and yeah, we really wanted to come on today because it's been a little while, and we wanted to share why it's been a while. And like we just mentioned, there's so much happening, and it is just amazing to be alive and to be in this energy of constant change and constant adaptation and constant whatever that might bring up, a lot of emotions as well. And so yeah, well done everybody for being here. And it's so nice to see everyone again. We're back, and after a rebirth, it feels like.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we've been rebirthed. We are new babies. What are we babies at?
We're babies on this new earth that we're all creating together. And yeah, if you are watching, please let us know that you're here so we can know that we're on. But yeah, we're in a massive transformation. And I don't know about you guys, but like in my own life and everyone else in my life, it's like the deepest, darkest stuff, all of those like abandonment wounds, all of those fears, every single thing that you've ever suppressed is coming up to the surface right now. And the reason is that high frequency energy is coming into the planet, and basically our bodies are being like shaken up. And all this stuff, which old emotion, memory, trauma resides in the body, it's all being shaken out. And so it can feel like, there was one analogy that I heard recently, is like you're between two dogs and you're being like pulled back and forth.
Oh, I like that one. Oh, the other day I described it as like, I mean, this is nice because like, that's not nice, but I thought about it as like, you know, when you're panning for gold and like you have to shake it to be able to get rid of all the other stuff, and then you're left with the gold. Like that's what I feel like is happening within me, is just this like shaking out all the stuff, and then what we're left with is this piece of gold.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot nicer.
I don't know, it's what I felt, so
yeah. And you're right, it is all to be left with this gold that we are, like the truth of who we are underneath all of the stuff that's happened to us, all of the pain, all of that crap, the lower frequency, denser emotions, all of that. It's like, who are we when we ring all of that through us and get to see ourselves more clearly, see the world more clearly. I know that phrase, like finding yourself, it used to sound nice to me, but it was like,
what does that mean?
What? Like, what does that even mean? Because we become so conditioned to be a certain way, feel a certain way in our lives, and that idea, that concept can seem out of reach. It's like, I don't even know what that means.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's so liberating, you know, to be able to start to uncover that and uncover what that even means, and then to just be more and more and more of ourselves. And I feel like it's like what you just talked about, this high frequency of energy. It's like a liberation energy that's coming through onto the planet. It's literally freeing all those things that we've been holding on to, the not feeling good enough, the feeling the feeling, you know, like we can't be ourselves, the feeling that we have to do something to be something. And that's just all being purged and released from our systems so that we can land deeper into our awesomeness and who we really are here to be ultimately. And you know, we're all creating this new earth together. It's not like it's suddenly like we're gonna land on a new planet and that's great. Well, yes, kinda, but it's up to us to be the ones to express the like creation of it, right? To be able to like, what do we want to create? And yeah. So, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna let you continue chatting. We borrowed a phone from this amazing guy because my phone died, and so to play that music at the beginning, asked someone on the beach if we could use his phone, and he so kindly offered it. And that's just to me an example of this earth that we're wanting to create, is working in the collaboration with one another. Like, we're not strangers, we're just a human family. And this was such a beautiful example. So I'm gonna go give this phone back, and I'll be back soon, in a sec.
What a great example of not being scared of each other. And for so much of our lives, I can speak for myself, it's like, being scared of connection and scared of people and wanting to hide, and now we're physically like separated from people in our homes or whatever, and we're coming out of that now. And I just want to say hello to Pamela and Priscilla have chimed in. Thank you for being here.
Hi ladies, nice to see you. Yeah, what a great example that was.
Coming out of that space I was just saying of like hiding for a lot of our lives, emotionally hiding, mentally hiding what's going on in here, and now physically hiding, like everyone being so separate, and we're moving out of that, and we're moving back into community and collaboration and working with each other and trusting each other again. And that's this new earth that we're creating right now.
And supporting one another, all of that. Yeah, I'd love to. Totally, we'll bring all that into this conversation, and then before we dive deep into that, we both really wanted to speak to why we didn't continue with that 4-part series, moving from fear into liberation. Well, I guess this is the continuation of it, but we really had to go through, I can speak for myself, like an integration period of like moving from that fear state into now both of us being rebirthed into a place of a deeper sense of freedom, a deeper sense of liberation, so we can be more of ourselves and really express like, woo, we're here to be the light that we are, right? And I think before it was kind of like, we're doing it, are we sure we can do it? Like, do we value it? Are we safe to do it? Like, there were so many questions for me that was coming up, and it's like all of that had to be felt recently over these last 2 weeks. I think it's only been 2 weeks. It's felt like a lifetime of diving into the, like, can we really do this? Are we really making a difference? Who are we to say these things and blah, 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 blah. Really moving through that fear ultimately into now being able to express on the other side what this liberation is from a truly embodied place. Instead of talking from our heads, we wanted to really come and speak from our bodies and our hearts, and so that's why there was a bit of a delay. But we really value authenticity, you know, and integrity to our word, and so we had to go through that experience in order to come back here in a place of speaking truthfully.
I think it's so important, these kind of new age terms that you may have heard, like integrated and embodied, and what does that really mean? Well, we can get wind of something, a new concept, a new idea that just is something that shakes our worldview, and we're so excited about it, and it's like, yes, let's move forward, let's share it with everyone, let's tell everyone we know. I don't know if you guys have experienced that. It's like learning something new, and then it's like, bah, everybody needs to know all of this stuff. Oh, hi Maureen, thank you. We're so happy that you're here.
Yeah, nice to see you.
And that's great. That's like the awakening stage where you have this realization, and it comes into your awareness and you're excited about it. And then integration, embodiment, is like letting it really land and making like all aspects of your life be in integrity with this new realization or this new way of being. And that can take time, and it's nice to have a big idea that's really exciting, but then do all of the areas of your life embody that? Do they represent this new belief that you have? And so that takes a while to really connect to yourself, and to make the shifts in the different areas of your life where it's like, oh, okay, like my value is freedom. Am I living in freedom in every aspect of my life? Am I living in freedom in my relationships? Am I living in freedom in my work situation? Oh, this is our office today.
Yeah. It's pretty free, I would say. There's an eagle. Oh no, it's not. It's a heron.
Oh.
But still, cool. An awesome bird flying overhead.
Yeah. And so we've been on that journey, and yeah, I wanted to speak a little bit to that today because we've both been in that stage of like awakening. We see something for the first time, so much excitement, and then it's okay to know that it takes time to like implement and integrate that into all areas of your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want it to be a one size fixes all type of thing sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm forever changed.
Yeah, well, I feel like our natural state, you know, we're very lucky, and our natural state has been freedom. This is why we were born really in that place of like we're free, and like we've come to bring this freedom energy onto the planet because the planet hasn't been so free. And so we really have like our whole life, I think, held that energy within us, but because of you know, life situation and external circumstances, it's like you're not allowed to be that free. And so it takes time to like really, for myself, gain trust in like I am allowed to be this, like I am allowed to be myself, I am allowed to be this free person that I really am. And so I'm truly letting my true self out now, but it just took a little bit of like having to purge the stuff that was in the way of feeling like I at least could really be free, you know. And so like it takes a little bit to let that all land. Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the F word.
The F word,
Which is what we're talking about today.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is freedom.
Yeah.
Maureen says, I relate. I feel like I've been a seed planted, germinating lately and enjoying the new growth. Yeah, absolutely. And that it takes time to let the seeds grow.
Yeah.
These new seeds of new inspiration, new ideas.
And watering the plant, you gotta water it, you gotta feed it, you gotta nourish it, and and then part of that is really believing in yourself to be able to embody it, to actually be that. And that's the phase we've been in.
Yeah, and it's speaking of freedom specifically, it can be scary when everyone in the world is telling you can't
not
be
to
free.
be free
In so many different ways. I was just speaking with a girlfriend a couple nights ago who was talking about all the times she's gone traveling, and she said every single time, no matter what country she went to, every single time she came back to Canada, she felt like a closing down. She felt like she couldn't be as free, as expressive, as that things are like a little bit more in order here. And I feel like, you know, that's true. That's been true for me too, is like there are so many systems in place that teach us to be a certain way, or that this is how things are done, and that can be great sometimes, but in other ways it takes us away from figuring out what that means for us truly and deeply.
Yeah, totally. Lots of systems in place, and you know, we're all so unique. That's it's something that I'm coming to lately, is like you can't really systemize us because we are these unique beings that are here to express unique expressions. And I don't know, lately for myself that's liberating me a lot, is that each one of us is extremely unique, and we don't all have to be the same. We don't all have to have the same beliefs, and we don't all have to be in the same stage of our life at the same time. And you know, the system kind of says the opposite of that. It says we have to all be a certain way, and we have to all believe a certain thing, and so that's what's creating the conflict, you know, and the divide, and the like, I'm more right than you are, and da 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 da. Well, what if we're all just right in the moment that we're in, from the perspective that we're seeing through at that time, you know? And that's really been liberating me lately, is coming into continual expansion, having one perspective and seeing things a certain way, and then being like, okay, something happens and I grow from it, and then I wake up a little bit more, and then I see it from a bit more of a broader view, and my perspective keeps changing and growing. And when I allow myself to expand into new states and new ways of seeing, then I allow other people as well. And so that's something we really wanted to bring in today, was like, you're exactly where you need to be right now. Even if right now you're feeling angry at the world, even if you're feeling super depressed or sad, or you know, in a state of flux, that's exactly where you need to be right now. And we've had to move through all of ourselves in order to be exactly where we are right now. And so, yeah, we really wanted to bring that in. Like, we're all so unique, and we are all in different vantage points of different views, and that is perfect. And the more we can honor that, you know, and own that within ourselves, the more we can allow each other to be free to express whatever we want to, whenever we want to, however we want to, because that's where we're at in that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, that to me is liberation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total acceptance of everything. And as you said, it starts with ourselves. So it starts with, for me, it's been accepting, and for you, we've been on this journey together, is like accepting all emotions. It's like, I realized just a few days ago, gosh, so many realizations so quickly, but I realized that I have gotten really comfortable with accepting and allowing people to be in grief or to be in anger, and with myself, accepting myself in grief or in anger. So what that means basically is that when those feelings come up, I don't try to punish myself or get mad at myself or judge myself or talk down to myself. However, I realized that there were other emotional states that I was not so accepting of yet. And some of those include when I'm being like childish, or feeling immature, or overwhelmed, or feeling judgy of others or myself. Is like, if I have a judging thought towards myself, then that's unacceptable, and then I judge it even more. Judge myself even more.
Judge Judy.
Judge K. And like, so basically, when we can't accept those emotional states within ourselves, then we can't accept them in others. So when someone else is being like childish or immature, whatever that definition is to you, around me, then it triggers something in me. But when we can learn to accept that within ourselves, then we can allow others to be there too. And as you said, it just allows us to be totally allowing of where everyone else is, no matter where you're at on your life journey, no matter what your perspectives are, no matter what you're moving through. Yeah.
Oh, and that is liberation.
Yeah.
That is, like, you know, a true definition of what liberation is. And when we do allow these emotions to come through, we're allowing their expression. You know, they've been held in the body for so long, and right now we're in this like major purge on the planet where everybody's getting to express everything that they've been holding on to. And so to give those feelings and those memories, whatever they are, expression, to allow them to move through and express themselves so that they can liberate themselves, they can become free, is like, whew, you know, and what a gift we can give to each other. And it's okay if you're in the place of judging others right now. I mean, I went through it myself. It's a definite part of it. You have to go through it in order to, for myself, it just got to the point of enough, excuse another F word there. Like, enough's enough. Like, I've had enough of judging. I've had enough of these feelings. And so I just like burst through onto the other side and came into this place of allowance and acceptance, because I just got so tired of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of us are going through a lot of, what's the word? Activations. Like, a lot of things are happening in our personal lives that are creating a lot of energy movement, and it does get to the point of like, I've had enough, and then complete surrender, and then you're like, oh my god, okay, I just allow and accept everything. And I feel like all of us are on that journey to come into allowance and acceptance, which to me is freedom. That is freedom.
Yeah.
Complete freedom.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that is then starting to create the life that we want. You know, and yesterday was my birthday, and we just had the most epic birthday party. Like, I decided I love kids games, and I find that bringing people together in a place where we're actually doing activities helps to keep the energy moving so nothing gets stagnant or stale. And so we played like the game where you have a spoon in your mouth and then the egg on it, like the egg race. We played the egg race, and then we had the 3-legged race, and we had a hula hooping, and just so much fun, like being big kids as adults. Like, that to me is freedom. Yeah. And
that comes when we've allowed these lower things to come up and just be, and stop judging ourselves for them, and allow them to move through our bodies and be released, because they don't want to be there. And we have all just, our bodies are ready to release all of this stuff, all of those like memories from when you were 6 and the kids on the playground didn't like you, or when you were bullied. Like, we're ready to release all of that stuff. Like, and you may have noticed situations coming up in your personal life that are like triggering some of those core wounds, and that's a good thing. They're coming up to be like brought out of your body, so that we can be in this place of freedom.
So we can be free.
Yeah.
Free to be me. Free to be you.
Da da da.
Da 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 da.
Yeah. And it's not to say it's not challenging.
Oh gosh, is it ever wild and crazy?
Yeah. Like, we haven't really shared too much of our work kind of struggles on here, but this last year has been really challenging. We do women's work and energy healing, and women's retreats are the thing for me that just like, it just fuels me so much, and I'm so passionate about it. And when we're hosting these retreats, like, women are shedding decades of pain and trauma and emotional memories that are ready to be released from the body, and just leave feeling like they've transformed their entire lives. And to see that impact is so huge, like so huge. And so the last year has been really tough, because there have been so many instances where we've had to see our retreats canceled or postponed or just wiped out completely. And for us, being in this world and recognizing how much this work positively impacts like your nervous system, your immune health, like all of the things that we want to boost right now, it's been really challenging. And we've had a lot of moments of just like, screw this, screw everything. Like,
let's just give up.
Yeah.
What are we doing anyway?
Like,
are
why?
we making a difference? What's the point?
Are we making a difference? Yeah, absolutely.
What's the point? It's just that.
Yeah. And making some noises, and
she's the best sound effector ever. So good at releasing energy.
Yeah, we've had a lot of moments like that. And so we understand that what this stop and start kind of energy the last year has felt like, this putting everything in your life on pause, on hold, not having any idea like what's going to happen, really. Yeah.
So much has happened. There's been divides in our families, there's been sickness in family, there's been so much. So this is how we come with this wisdom to share, is because we've gone through it, you know. It's, we're like, yes, we're bright and we're free, but we've gone through what we've had to go through in order to be able to, you know what, have the strength and the courage to like anchor freedom and want that for us and for humanity, and to continue doing this work. So we're really starting to see, which is nice, the value in what we're doing. And so we're continuing. You know, we kind of recognized it the other day. Despite being in a pandemic, we've been doing retreats every 2 months. We've been lucky enough to be able to, even if it's 4 people, to still be able to host it. And so we just had one last weekend, which was absolutely phenomenal. And there was an 81-year-old lady in it, and it was so heartwarming to hear her share her story in the end. You always say it so well. What did she say?
Yeah. Well, she basically said, like, I've lived a long life, and this was the thing that's always been missing, and I can die happy now.
She said it was the best weekend of her life, and she's coming to our next one, which is so freaking cool. Yeah, and you know, we've learned how to ask for support as well, and luckily this last crew that was there, we had 4 people, and it was just so beautiful, because at the end one of the participants said, how can we support you? You know, recognizing that we support a lot of people, so how can we support you? And that was like one of the most warming things I've ever experienced, and that's this new earth energy that we feel is coming in, is like, how can we support each other to live our best life? How can we support one another to be our authentic selves? And lately, for me, what that is like coming to see that complimenting one another, or like pointing out something in a person that you see that you really value and love, is like, it's the best thing to receive from your friends, because we don't share that kind of stuff, you know. And so for you and I, Cassie and I have gone through a lot. Like, I tried to push this one away, because that was one of my patterns. I was like, with all of our work going kind of haywire with this whole thing going on, you know, the stop-start energy that you just spoke about, we both didn't know what to do, and there was going to be like a collapse of like, we might as well stop and not do this work. And so I wanted to create a big divide between us, so I played lots of little games to try to do that. But she's still here because part of the work for us is to liberate that pattern, that very pattern, and stay together, and then be able to point out in each other what we see and what we value. And you know, when we can do that for each other, we pull more of that out of one another, and that's what we can do for our friends right now too. Is yes, there's so much like shit to focus on, but we can start to shift the focus a bit, you know, and turn it around and be like, what is good? And then share that with each other. You know, I really loved it when you did this the other day. Like I love how, I don't know, how much you listen and how understanding you are. Just all these beautiful qualities that we can start to draw out of one another instead of, you're an asshole because blah, 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 blah. I mean, fine, if that happens, that's cool too. But,
yeah,
you know, we can start to shift the focus a bit. And that's where we are now on this other side of like, okay,
yeah.
so what do we want to call more in of, you know? And yeah.
Play.
Yeah,
And magic.
Playing magic. We've been hooping and biking and listening to music and playing magic.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing. And everyone, we're just running into the most amazing people. Everyone's smiling, everyone's like saying thank you for the music, or great music, or I love what you're wearing, or just thank you. I was cleaning up some garbage on the beach a couple weeks ago, and 4 people in a row like came right up to me and said thank you, and I was like, okay, like this is what New Earth is, and people are craving this right now, and especially from the contrast of all of the divide and conquer that so many have been feeling, and the fear and everything. It's like we want to feel that. We want to feel like life is working for us, that magical moments are possible, that synchronicities are unfolding in front of us, and it's possible. Yeah.
And it's, you got to go through, you know, we talk about going, you got to go in to get out. You got to go through all that stuff, all that pain and all that whatever, to come through out onto the other side and start to really see that, holy moly, we're living on a planet that it's gorgeous. Like, this planet is stunning. I mean, the sky is so blue today, and you can see the contrast of the trees against the sky, and the wind like on our faces, and the sun. Like, it's like, wow, this is heaven, really. And when we can move through all the fear and move through all that stuff and come out onto the other side, you really start to see and feel like this is heaven. And then we get to create. We are in charge. We get to create what we want from that. We get to see each other in the way that we want to see, you know, instead of being like, oh, you did this thing and it's kind of pissing me off. I'd be like, wow, look at your eyes today. They're so bright and beautiful and clear. And this color on you, like, wow, you know? Yeah, and not having to hide that anymore. You know, we can share that kind of stuff with each other because it's kind and it makes us feel good. So why not make each other feel good?
Yeah. We've been keeping that inside for so long because it's been scary, and we've been in our own like tornado in our minds, right? Like just living in the chaotic monkey mind, and we're coming out of that and coming more into our bodies, and through practices like meditation, breathing, yoga, all of these beautiful things, spending time in nature. It's like we're getting out of the mind into the body, and the body is where we get to experience the magic of life. Yeah.
And our senses, you know, if you think about our senses, like I'm just sitting here with the sun on my face, and it's like, oh, thank you, sun. And I got some taste in my mouth from this delicious food I had before this video. Like, oh my God, thank you, taste buds. Like, how cool is it that I get to taste food? You know, and then to touch you, like, oh, I feel your skin, it's so soft. Like, oh, it's nice to feel, you know? Like, wow. These things that we take for granted because they're just a part of our life. And when we can start to clear the mind and declutter the thoughts, we can actually really come, like you said, into the body and experience and appreciate, like, even this rock that's in front of us right now. Like, thank you, rock, for showing us stability. Like, wow.
I'm in bliss land. Yeah, it feels good. And to reiterate, like, wherever you are, well done.
Freaking, like, congratulations, everybody, for wherever you are. Like, wow, thank you.
This is a wild time, and you're here.
Wild, wild, wild. Yeah, and extremely sacred, and wow. Yeah. So thank you all, and thanks just for being with us. We absolutely love this. This is one of our favorite things to do, and yeah, the fact that we get to do it together and spread cheer and joy and honesty and truth and the raw stuff is just like, oh, it's so liberating. So thank you all for listening and being with us.
And I have an invitation for any of you that watch this live or on the replay that feel like something rang true for you. I know it can be a little intimidating to comment down below, but we've had a few people recently come up to us in person that we've ran into
we
and
have
say,
fans on the street.
Yeah, say thank you for your videos. You have no idea how much they're helping.
Yeah.
And we don't get to hear that, and we understand that it can be scary to share that. So if anything has ever resonated with you, like, feel free to message one of us individually, get in contact another way. Just start letting that express out of you, because once you start, you'll feel a lightness, you'll feel a release, and start to bring more of that into your life. And so do it for you.
Yeah, do
as
it for
much
you.
as
Totally. And then there's reciprocity in it, because you get to share it, you know, something that might be shy to share, like if we've moved you or impacted you in any way, or however it's done for you, and then we get to hear it, so we all win. It's like this beautiful loop of energy, this reciprocity, this exchange that takes place. Yeah, we met someone on the street the other day. We were on Commercial Drive, and he stopped and was just like, thank you, you two. And we were like, oh, like, thank you. We don't know, you know, and it inspires us to do more. We want to share this, but we're like, should we? Is it okay? And so it's just so nice to hear it.
Yeah.
And then we also heard from another woman the other day. This was like really touching, who one of our videos that we did on forgiveness, forgiving ourselves and just loving ourselves, she's lost like 40 to 50 pounds thanks to that video. So yeah, gosh, for anyone out there, like, our expression is so important, not ours. Everybody's expression is so important, and we don't realize how much of an impact we make on each other's lives when we speak our truth. And so yeah, just encouraging all of you to get out there in whatever way, you know, and speak your truth, because people are waiting to hear you, and the impact that we can make is so freaking cool. So yeah, just to inspire that.
Yeah. Thank you. And to wrap up, Maureen said, I needed you today. Love is amazing. Oh, thank you, Maureen. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a beautiful weekend.
Yes, it's a long weekend.
Yeah, it is.
It's Victoria long weekend.
Yeah. And we'll see you again soon.
Yes, we'll be back. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.